Hey there, and welcome into Main Street Living. I'm Danielle Alvari.
Hey guys, I'm Quincy Carr.
I'm Cheryl Nelson, and we are in the dog days of summer, guys. It's definitely hot across many parts of the country.
Yeah,
That's what they
absolutely.
call it?
I don't. The dog days. The dog days. I don't know if I've told you guys yet, but I'm actually getting ankle surgery in about a week here, so I'm going to be up on crutches for about 2 weeks. So until that happens, I'm trying to stay as active as possible leading up to that surgery. So, what have you guys been doing to stay active this summer, Cheryl?
Yeah, so for me, I love going to local parks and, of course, traveling and doing some sightseeing anywhere I can go to be active and walk. But it's got to be a combination. You're doing some walking or hiking and then taking some pretty pictures of nice scenery, too. There's got to be both.
Yes.
You?
Yeah, well, as an adult, I try to go to the gym and also shoot some hoops because I do have a Steph Curry shot that is deadly.
Oh, we'll have to see
And
that.
no one has seen it. That's the problem.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. We'll get a camera out to you, Q. We got you.
Yeah.
But it's possible that Danielle was trying to guard me, and the reason why she has to have ankle surgery because I broke her ankles with the cross.
Quincy,
I did
Yeah.
break my ankles on defense. I'm a sick defender.
you guys, all right, I got to keep you guys separated here. I'm like the mama bear of Main Street Living. But Q, I heard when you were a kid, you used to chase after something.
Oh yeah, so when I was a kid, I don't do it as an adult now, but you remember during the summertime when the ice cream trucks would come through, they had that little song. I would always chase after the ice cream trucks. That's how I stayed active during the summertime back in the day.
You hear the ice cream truck, and you're out the door. You're just out the
Yes.
door. Yes.
Yes.
Your
And they all
poor
have that
parents.
signature. They all have that signature sound. But you know what?
Oh, yeah.
This show also has a signature sound, and it's the sound of fun because we're getting a brain freeze tease today and also
Ooh.
catching up with an inspirational custom wood creator.
That's right. And we're going to hear from an organization that's making sure that we all have a place to call home.
Oh, and we'll tell you where you can go on some adventurous mountain bike tours and what unique beverage you can drink afterward to cool off. Stay with us right here on Main Street Living.
Hey guys, welcome back to Main Street Living. Now, Danielle, Cheryl, I know you both are very active and you exercise every day, of course, right?
Every day.
Right. Well, but we also do it to support our physical and our mental health. So when you find an activity that's great for your health and ladies, it's a ton of fun. It's kind of like hitting the jackpot, right?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's what I love to do. And our next guest just may convince you that an electric mountain bike needs to be on your to-do list. Please welcome Tony Ferreira from Vegas Hyper Adventures. Okay, this sounds really cool. Thanks for joining us on Main Street Living.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I appreciate the opportunity to be on the show.
Oh, so first of all, let's start with this. Tell us, what led you to mountain biking? Why are you so passionate about it?
I mean, first and foremost, like you guys hit it, is just the health aspect of it. I was just coming off a heart attack and I needed to get out and about. I needed to get physical and get healthy, and I needed to do it quickly. So I bought a mountain bike and just started getting on that thing. And I noticed, a huge transformation in not just my physical appearance, but my happiness and my mood and everything about it that goes with it. And so it had a lot to do with health.
Oh,
So that's a pretty profound impact really on your health. What made you decide on mountain biking as the way to get back on track with your health?
Again, after my heart attack, having some conversations with my cardiologist, I told him that I was buying a mountain bike. And then the next time I went and seen him, he said, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And I told him, that I was mountain biking, and he said that could be that's the best thing you can do for your heart, because what it does is when you climb, it elevates your heart rate to the max potential, which then opens up your arteries and clears out your arteries. So, I mean, that was a win-win for me. It was a no-brainer. So I just started doing it, and then I fell in love with it. I mean, as a kid, I always rode and was in love with mountain bike or, BMX bikes back then. But the mountain bike thing really just sat well with me.
Oh, thank goodness you're okay. And it sounds like you have an amazing cardiologist looking after you. And I'm
It's great.
glad he's on board for all of this.
Well,
And
thank you.
so, now I want to talk about electric mountain bikes. And because you made the switch, what made you do that?
Well, what made me switch was I had a regular trail bike, and I bought my wife a trail bike, and we went out one day, and she now this is no knock on my wife, but she does sit behind the desk a lot. So she rode about 3 or 5 minutes, and she just couldn't do it. She's
That
like,
would be
I
me.
can't, well, it's physical, I mean, it really is. If it's a trail, regular trail bike, and she couldn't do it. So she said to me, she said, if you buy me an electric bike, I'll do this. So she didn't think I was going to find one for, affordable. And I found one, and I bought her an electric bike, and, we went out again and a few other times. And the problem was now I couldn't keep up with her. She was gone. I mean, for somebody who couldn't ride, was like so far ahead of me, and I'm, pedaling my poor little tushy off trying to keep up with her, and she is literally gone. So that made me go out and buy one, and the rest is history.
Well, it's always good to have somebody that's pushing you, I think. So you made your own pacer there.
Yeah, right. Exactly. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
actually I just got back from Las Vegas for a conference, and man, it was 110 degrees, I have to tell you. So I think when people think of Las Vegas, they don't usually think about the beautiful scenery and being outdoor. What are we all missing?
well, I really truly believe you're missing a lot. I mean, it is amazing. Right now, I'm looking at the temperature gauge on my computer, and it's 101 degrees at 10 o'clock in the morning. So it is amazing that that it is as hot as it is here, but people are coming out in droves. Las Vegas is back after the pandemic, and the heat doesn't bother anybody. We're booked. All the mountain bike touring companies are booked, and when I go riding, they're all out there. What you're missing is absolute beautiful scenery. We have some of the most incredible, historic scenes. We have, Hoover Dam. We have Lake Mead, even though it's
Oh,
historically low right now. We still have water in there. And we have Red Rock Mountains. We have Utah, which is just our neighbor right down the street, not far away from here. So getting on a mountain bike and getting out into nature, I can't even put words to it of what it does for your mind. I mean, and I think a lot of us need that right now.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's funny. I mean, sorry, Cheryl, but yeah, when I'm in Vegas, I feel like I'm constantly going from air conditioned building to another air conditioned building. So it's so nice to get
We
outside.
do.
And I've been to Red Rock, and it's much cooler out there, and it's
Right.
just such a beautiful, beautiful place to see.
Oh,
Right. And not to mention, I'm sorry, but not to mention we have Mount Charleston too, which gets
Yeah.
about another 20 degrees cooler up there. Now, to go mountain biking in Mount Charleston, you have to be more than a beginner rider out there. It's a little challenging out there, but you know what? Getting off the bike and walking it is not an issue.
oh, it's so good for the mind, body, and the soul. But I'm
Absolutely.
kind of like
Absolutely.
your wife. And so I heard you mention pedaling. And when I think electric mountain bike, I don't think pedaling. So do you have to pedal? How does that work?
Well, these particular bikes, I mean, there's several different kinds of electric bikes. Now, we're saying electric bikes. These are electric mountain bikes. So there is a difference. There's no throttle. Electric bikes have throttles. Electric mountain bikes are pedal assist. So in other words, the power doesn't kick on until you pedal. And then your brakes are your best friend. As soon as you brake, the power cuts off. So there's safety features that I go over with the riders. Behind me, I don't know how much you can see back there, but I got a couple pictures up on the wall there. That's a picture of my bike, and we rode to the edge of the Grand Canyon. Now, that's not one of my tours, but this was me and my wife. We rode to the edge of the Grand Canyon, a great ride. The batteries are integrated into the bike. So as soon as you pedal, that power kicks on. And the beauty of it is somebody said, well, isn't it cheating? How do do you really get a workout? I mean, physically, yes, you get a workout. And there's two different ways. One, you can just throw it in low power and, it only gives you a little bit assist. But where I find, like, if I don't have a tour and I just want to go and physically, get my workout in, what I do is for cardio is you put it in turbo, which is power assist number 5, and you do what would normally take you maybe a 2-hour ride, you do in 40 minutes.
Whoa.
So basically you're flying through that ride. Now, that's not my tour. I wouldn't do this with my people, but for me, I just fly through that thing. I get my heart pounding, I get it going, and I'll tell you, I burn more calories in high power than I do in low.
I believe it. I mean, Tony, you've mentioned it. You've got tours. You fell in love with the electric mountain biking. You decided you want to share that with other people. So we want to hear all about the company you started, Vegas Hyper Adventures. But we're out of time in this segment. Can you stick around with us for one more?
Oh, I'd love to. I appreciate that.
All right. So we'll be back with Tony and we'll figure out what tour is best for each of us. Welcome back into Main Street Living. We are back here with Tony Ferreira to get into the details about the different adventures available from Vegas Hyper Adventures. So Tony, we are sold on the electric mountain bike and you offer 3 different kinds of experiences. Now the first option is to ride these single track trails. What does that mean? What can a rider experience on one of those tours?
Well, a single track is going to be more of an intermediate rider. So, again, my tours, I'm not going to be jumping off sides of cliffs or anything like that. But an intermediate trail, being a single track, means it's a one-way ride. So, in other words, it's either going to be an out and back or a loop. And there's what's called a double track, which is a bike can pass each other. So you can go both ways on the trails. Normally a single track trail is a one-way ride and it's a skinny little trail that you fly through. So that's a single track. So it's a little bit more of an intermediate ride when we do the single track tours. And that's going to be in Red Rock and the town of Blue Diamond here in Las Vegas.
Ooh, I'm all about Red Rock. Yes. So I don't know. I'm probably not intermediate. I'm probably more of the leisurely, scenic type of rider. So do you offer scenic trails as well? And if so, what are those like?
Absolutely. And the scenic trails, I mean, those are more of my rides of the beginner riders, husband and wife, 2 women, 2 guys, but they don't want to get too crazy. They just want to go out and have some fun. So my scenic trails are fabulous. I do the Hoover Dam ride, which is through the historic railroad pass trail up in Boulder City. And so basically you take a leisure little climb. It's not a massive climb. And you just climb. I mean, you're climbing, but it's very gradual. And the views overlooking Lake Mead is phenomenal. And then you ride all the way to the Hoover Dam. And then you have the rider has a choice if they want to walk down to go the rest of the way to the Hoover Dam. It's not very far down. And I stay with the bikes and then they come back and we ride back to the vehicle. That's a great one. That's a great one.
I'm so excited that you said that. I was going to ask you about the Hoover Dam because I go to see things when I'm in new states and you never really know what to expect. I went to see, Mount Rushmore and I was like, kind of not that exciting. Just happened to go to the Hoover Dam. So cool. Absolutely worth seeing. And Lake Mead as well. So
yeah.
And we know you also, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say what's nice about that tour is you ride through all the tunnels, which is the history of the building of the dam. So it's kind of neat.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know you also offer a ghost town tour. Are there ghosts on the tour? What is that like?
Well, I mean, I guess the riders are going to have to get on my website and book to find out. But let's just say this: my wife does have a selfie that she took, and I don't know if you guys know what orbs are, but ghosts come in forms of orbs. And my wife asked, "Okay, Ghosty, let's take a selfie." And she took a picture, and there's like an orb in her forehead. So
no, stop!
I don't know if there's ghosts, but it's pretty cool. I'm serious. I was going to share.
I need to stay on the scenic route.
Well, I don't know.
You guys will just stick to the scenic route. I get it.
I know. I'm good. I want to do the ghost tour. Where does that one go?
The ghost tour, to be honest with you, is my favorite. That one's it's a little drive. We drive out to the town of, I'm going to say it wrong, but it's Beatty. So it's out about an hour and a half away from Las Vegas, but it's nice. We get to chat about, your visit and this and that. And we get to this ghost town, and it's a fabulous ghost town because it's lively. And what I mean by that is the ruins are still out of the ground. They're huge. There's a school, there's a bank, and then they put their own little ghost features that, trying to attract tourism. But it is one of the most photographed spots in the state of Nevada. And it's fabulous. And I've been out there several times, and I know the history all behind the town. It's I think it was 1904. It was very vibrant at one time. And now it's just vacant, and people just go there and drive around, and we just park and get off our bikes, and it's a nice leisure at your own pace ride. This is one of my biggest tours that we do, because the fact that you get to ride, if you want to go over here, you go over there. It's not like you have to stay with me. We can just go and have fun.
Yeah.
And then I provide lunch. I do a box lunch where they either have an option of a sandwich and chips or salad. And I try to keep everything healthy, organic, and I don't want to get too winded here, but just to go back to the idea of the reason this came about was I was coming across people that were renting bikes, but they didn't have a tour guide. So they were out in the desert, and they're lost, they're hungry, they're thirsty, and they're always asking me questions like, hey, how do I get here? How do I get there? So I'm like, wow, this is not good. I think there's a need for this. And that's how I came up with the idea of Vegas Hyper Adventures.
And keeping it healthy. I love that so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we got water, electrolytes, Cliff bars, again, everything's organic. It's very important. The health aspect of it, obviously, is very important.
Good stuff.
Well, that's what got you started.
I'm all about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
How can viewers get in touch with you or book a tour if they want to come get a tour with you?
The easiest way is my website at vegashyper.com. That's the best way to get a hold of me, or book a tour. Everything's on there. If you need any information, you can contact me at 702-557-0404. Or, like I said, the best way is through the website. You can get me through there. There's contact information through there. And my YouTube channel. You can just look me up under my name, Tony Ferreira. You can see some of my rides. Some of them are, I'm by myself. I like to, I'm big on the YouTube thing. It's really, really fun.
Yeah, we've checked that out. We love the videos there. And Danielle, I think you, Quincy, and I need to get out there and do it. Although I want to do the ghost tour. So
there you go.
You pick me up you pick me up at the dam. You pick me up there.
All right, will do. Tony, thank you so much for joining us. It was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and congrats on your health too. Amazing that you did that. Wow.
Oh, such a good story there. And, I think after riding mountain bikes, we'll be hot. I scream, you scream. We all scream for, find out after
ice cream.
Oh, you ruined it.
I'm sorry. It sounded too good, Cheryl. Welcome back into Main Street Living, having way too much fun as usual. Quincy and Cheryl, there are so many advantages to shopping local. You're supporting your own community, and you can find items that you won't see anywhere else.
That's right, Danielle. And if you're shopping for something edible, there's nothing better than scoring freshly made treats in your own neighborhood.
Oh, yum. And we are heading into the dog days of summer, and that means it's prime time for ice cream. And if you're in Rhode Island, you've got to check out Clementine's homemade ice cream. Look at this.
Hi, I'm Warren Sternberg, and we're at Clementine's in Middletown, Rhode Island. My wife and I started Clementine's 6 years ago in East Greenwich. We have 2 locations, so one in East Greenwich and one here on Wave Ave. It's all really, really fresh. Usually what you're eating is 1 to 2 days old, so we turn it over really quickly. 22 flavors here, about 32 in East Greenwich. So cookie dough is the all-time most popular, so probably 2-to-1 over anything else. Mint Oreos are really popular flavor, coffee heap bar, chocolate brownie is very popular. Yeah, we kind of stick to the basics and do that, or try to do that really well. So we have a big ice cream batch freezer is what it's called essentially. So it makes ice cream in 5-gallon batches. Any of the bases go right in the machine. So the black raspberry goes right in there, that puree, strawberries go right in the machine. It chills it down in about 10 to 15 minutes and it comes out of that machine as a thick soft serve. So from that thick soft serve, we'll do any add-ins like cookie dough, brownie dough. We mix those in as it's coming out of the machine. We're able to control how things are hand mixed in and really load up on those mix-ins. It's a little more of an art, I guess, to add in the flavors by hand and the mix-ins by hand. From there, it goes in a deep freezer, which chills it down very, very quickly. And that's the key to getting creamy ice cream, is to chill it down as quickly as possible. It feels really good and it's really neat to see how it's come together, and that's been one of the best things, is coming in on a busy night and really seeing a lot of smiling, happy faces, and that's what excites us in growing the business as well. That's kind of, I guess, would be our mission statement, is to have everyone leave Clementines with a smile.
Wow, ladies, there is nothing like satisfying that sweet tooth while trying to avoid that good old brain freeze.
Give me some of that
Classic
cookie
struggle.
dough. Yes. And nearly every town has a local ice cream shop. So that's where you'll discover the best and most unique frozen treats. If you're in Rhode Island, though, make sure you check out Clementine's. If not, hunt down the local scoop closest to you. Lots of fun there. Good stuff. From custom ice cream to other custom creations, stay with us here on Main Street Living to see what unique pieces our next guest has constructed. Welcome back to Main Street Living. Danielle, Quincy, receiving a gift is always appreciated, but when that gift was custom created just for you, it becomes a treasure. I'm so sentimental. I love stuff like this.
Yeah, please don't cry on us right now, Cheryl. But I can tell you, our next guest is someone that I had the pleasure to meet on the last cruise ship gig that I did earlier this year. And he spends a lot of time designing those custom treasures for people. Like to welcome to Main Street Living, Big Dave Sherman. Welcome, Dave. How are you?
How you doing, Quincy? How you doing, everybody?
Hey, good. It's good to see you again, Dave.
Well, thank you.
One thing I know about you, well, one thing I kind of did not know is that you are an electrical engineer by training, but you found a passion as a custom woodworker, right? So how did you get interested in woodworking?
It kind of fell on me later in life. I lost my legs in the military. And after that, I decided I really needed something to do with my time that was that would take up a lot of my creativity and a lot of the time that I had on my hands. But I also wanted to do something that touched people. And I've always been interested in woodworking. I've always been interested in creating things. So this seemed to fit that bill. And when you do things like this, you really collaborate with people on a personal level, and you get to know them very well. And in doing so, you're able to create something that not only touches them, but really fits into their life in a way that other things just really don't do.
So true.
Yes.
We heard about you and your talents after Quincy got back from his last cruise. We've seen the photos, the videos. It's incredible work. How did you two meet? What was that like?
It was wonderful. I saw Quincy the night before at the comedy show, and I really was impressed by not only what he did and how he did it, but the manner in which he carried himself and the manner in which he did it. It was a wonderful experience for me and my family, and my wife particularly enjoyed it. And I just had to approach him and talk to him. And when we got talking about about his show, and then it kind of naturally morphed into what I do. And you just saw the gears turning in his head, and all of a sudden he goes, "Well, I know what you can make me." And I was like, "Well, what's that?" He goes, "Well, you can make me a microphone, a wooden microphone." And I
Hold
said,
up, Dave. Now I didn't say that. Now you trying to make me sound like I was forcing you to do something. What I said,
free
Dave.
stuff here.
What I said was, you know what? It would be cool if I had a microphone made out of wood so I can have it sitting on my desk.
That is exactly what he said.
And then you said
what he said. And I was like, well, okay, well, what would be even cooler than that is if I could make it work. And he goes, well, could you do that? And of course I'm going to say yes. I mean, I'm never going to be like, nah, I just can't do that. So of course I can make it work. So one thing led to another, and we talked after the cruise, and every step of the way through the whole process, I kept calling him and saying, hey, Quincy, what do you think of this idea? And he would call me and say, hey, Dave, what about this idea? And we just kept on bouncing things back and forth. And he really wanted the logo to pop. And so we embedded it with exactly an inlay of crimson and white, and it turned out amazing. I even put the red crimson on the jewels.
Wow.
Yeah. So Dave,
and the
like,
quality comedy king inscribed on the side.
Yeah, like Dave is brilliant. You know, and all the things that I was asking Dave to do, Dave would, you know, like kind of mock it up and then show me. But Dave, I have to ask you, like, you know, as people can see here, all of your pieces are custom made, this is a working microphone. This is where it plugs into one of those XLR cords, people. So I'm going to get a chance to try it out here soon. But what kinds of other projects do you usually work on?
Oh, I work on that's the beauty. I work on anything that the customer and I could come up with, from doors to tables to a custom piece for their home, something that goes over their door or near their front door, an accent piece of sorts, wedding gifts, cake holders, anything that you want that personal touch on is exactly what I could do. And it's really a collaboration of me sitting down with you, talking, figuring out what you're really into. Like I'm looking at your backdrop now, and I see the Nike sneaker, and I'm just saying, hey, in my head, could I make a wooden sneaker? And those are the kind of things.
Do you think could we? Okay.
Those are the kind of things those are the kind of things that motivate me and get me thinking, well, what can be done? How can it be done? And would it really resonate with you as a person, or my customer as a person or client? And how would that impact, and what would people see, and what would it say about you as a person when they come into your home and see this piece?
No, I love that you work with people to figure out it, and you're challenging yourself further too by making things you haven't made before too. What are some of your favorite pieces?
Absolutely. My wife, I do a lot of nativity scenes. They're not your typical pieces, nativity scenes. They're more like framed art pieces. And I've got one here that I could show you. Yeah. I made my wife one prior, and she saw it for Christmas. So I had to kind of go back and come up with something new. And here is the second version that I created for my wife.
Right.
After she saw the original.
Look at the precision in that, though. Like,
it's the detailing.
It really, I love the intricacies of it. I take a piece and really try to make it my own. And I have another one here. This is the original one that she saw. And
was look at that.
It was done. It was literally sitting on the table drying.
Dave, so I have to ask you, man, like the one thing that was impressive to me is like you got a full family and you're obviously, a great dad, a very inspirational dad and person. But you lost your legs while serving our country in the military. Thank you for your service, fellow military brother of mine. But you're inspirational for so many reasons. Like, what life advice would you have for anyone listening?
Just never stop. I mean, creating things are what we're put here on this earth for. Yeah. We're here to create. You create quality comedy. I create wood pieces and things like that. We're here to create. So go out and be the best you can do and express to people who you are through the things that you make.
Beautiful.
Where can people go to find your work and get in contact with you?
Best way to get in contact with me is to go to my website is bigdavescustomcarvings.com. And don't be shy. Just pick up the phone. My number and my contact information is right there. I will sit and talk to you about what's close to you and what means the most to you at length.
Well, Dave, you're definitely bringing smiles to me and so many others, and we certainly appreciate you taking your time out your busy day to carve it up with us today.
Absolutely. And anytime, I would love to be back anytime. And I really feel if I could do anything for anybody, please feel free to contact me.
You got it. Thank you, Dave.
All right. Have a wonderful day.
All right.
Oh, man. Thank you so much for bringing into the show, Quincy. Incredible work, incredible human, obviously. And of course, thank you to him for his service. And coming up next, we are going to explore what it means for us all to have a place to call home right here on Main Street Living.
Hey guys, welcome back to Main Street Living. Now, Danielle, Cheryl, over the past few years, we've all heard the word inclusion a lot more often. And many of us are now realizing how much nicer the world is when everyone has a seat at the table.
That's right, Q. Having empathy is so important. And it's also becoming clear that many of the traits that may have been seen as disabilities in the past are really just different abilities.
Yeah, and a very special group in San Diego County is providing life-changing services to one group of neighbors and making the whole community better in the process. Let's take a look.
Home of Guiding Hands helps San Diego community in that we're a resource for families. A lot of times when families first identify that their child, their loved one, might have an intellectual or developmental disabilities, they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. And we're here to help guide people through that process, to show them what a thriving life their loved one can have. It's a passion I share, having a daughter with a disability.
I really love the place that I live at. Because of Home of Guiding Hands, I was able to move out of my parents' house and into a beautiful home that I love living in. And so if you have an independent living service coordinator, they will help you learn more about being independent, and they help guide you through different things. They've helped me with lots of encouragement and love. They've also given me an ILS worker who is an amazing person, and I love her so much. She's great. I could tell you the first, week or so, I wasn't feeling very confident in myself. The first couple of nights I was like, oh, this is scary. But I look back on it now and I'm like, this is so easy. Why was I scared and nervous about it?
So HGH is celebrating 55 years this year. What a remarkable milestone for what started off as just how can we make this better. This group got together and said, instead of putting people in institutes, there has to be a better way. And they created what we commonly call the campus. And it was a central location for people to live and really thrive. And that lasted for a number of years. So Randy Jones has been involved with Home of Guiding Hands for 20 plus years now. About 12 years ago, he started the Run, Walk, and Roll for Independence event that he helped sponsor.
Randy Jones and I got to throw the first hitch, and he helped me, and he gave me some pointers. There were like crowds of people and I didn't realize how many people were there until I got out there, like onto the field. I was like, there's a lot of people. And Randy Jones is such a nice guy, and he came over to me, he's like, hey kid, how are you feeling? And I was like, I'm nervous. He's like, deep breaths, it's okay.
Once you meet my daughter, you'll know she falls in love with everybody the moment she meets them. So they're best friends now. What I want people to know, or their takeaway from HGH, is we still have a long way to go for people to be accepted, people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, into the communities. So I encourage people to see their strengths and not just what we call their disabilities.
Wow, ladies, such a remarkable piece, and it's good seeing people helping people.
Yeah, and you can find more about the services that Home of Guiding Hands offers on their website, guidinghands.org.
Oh, so nice, guys. Well, switching gears a little bit, have you ever tried kombucha?
Yeah.
Find out why it's such a craze next. Welcome back to Main Street Living. All right, guys, the data is in, and this is no surprise. It turns out the global pandemic drove us to drink.
Hold up. Isn't that funny, Danielle? Cheryl says drove, the girl who drives everywhere. But I have to say, for many Americans who are looking for different options when it comes to their adult beverages, I believe there are a lot to choose from.
Yeah, one of the latest boozy trends to hit the market is hard kombucha. What exactly is that, you ask? We'll take a look.
Kombucha is a fermented black tea. It's brewed with a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. It's super healthy for you. It's got all sorts of beneficial bacteria, probiotics, and acids. So we decided to kind of do something different than everybody was doing. Everyone was kind of scrambling to try to get their kombucha less than 0.5% alcohol so that it wouldn't be considered an alcoholic beverage. And we wanted to just do something creative, something new, so we went the opposite direction.
So our kombucha is a 7% alcohol, whereas normal kombucha is 1.5%. So it's a fermented food, and one of the byproducts of the fermentation process is alcohol.
Beer starts by basically boiling grains to extract the sugars. What we do is we never boil anything, so it's completely unpasteurized, and we supply organic cane sugar as the food for the yeast, for the culture.
It's a nice mix. You know, you've got some health benefits from traditional kombucha, which we're maintaining those probiotics, and it's got alcohol in it. So it's a nice blend for somebody that lives a healthy and active lifestyle that also cares about the food that they put in their body.
It makes you feel, I mean, I'm sure it's good for you too, but it makes you feel like you're not just drinking like hard alcohol that's bad for you. You're putting something good into your body as well.
I like the way it makes me feel. It's very mellow, very relaxed. It's not a typical hard liquor. It's delicious. The flavors are so good and refreshing.
We're all really conscious about our health and about the health of the environment, and so, you know, our product's all organic, sustainable. We try to buy as much produce from local farmers as possible.
I think obviously that we're unique. We're not another beer. There's a lot of beer breweries popping up, and so they're all competing for that space. But we're doing something different. It's, you know, expanding very quickly. It's one of the fastest growing beverages in the marketplace.
Okay, guys, this is something that I am totally down for. Healthy alcoholic drinks.
Yes, because we got to keep it healthy around here. And you can find more about Boochcraft, including their current flavors and where you can buy some at boochcraft.com.
All right, well, I'm here with these two party girls, but straight ahead, more of Main Street Living. Stay right there.
welcome back into Main Street Living, another great show in the books.
That's right, ladies. Another great show in the books, and we have to go, but I'm going to close it out like this with my new microphone. All right. You can catch all of our shows, past and present shows, on our Cox Contour app.
I have a mic too. It's not as cool as yours. But don't forget, new episodes of Main Street Living Mondays, 9 p.m. local time. So make sure you join us then as we take another stroll down Main Street.